Today we're going to tell you where to get a good laugh on your Hawaii vacation with our special guest, comedian Jame Mane, on this episode of the Hawaii Vacation Connection for Friday, February 10th, 2012. Which is always my mantra, right? I'm always talking about advanced bookings because I think that's the best way to save them. That's what I call aloha spirit. It's a world championship. It's 32 miles to cross the channel from Molokai to this part of Oahu on the east side.
When I go to McDonald's, you know, the pressure that I have when I order 4 Big Macs. I gotta order 4 drinks. So they don't think all these Big Macs is for me. No, to go please for the whole family.
Welcome back to the show, and today joining us as our special guest is Jame Mane.
Hello.
He has a website called marscomedy.com. He's a local Hawaii comic. So today we brought him on to talk a little bit about comedy in Hawaii. So if you're coming here on vacation, you may want to get a few laughs. Welcome to the show.
Hey, nice to be here.
Yeah. So is Hawaii a happening place for comedy?
I think right now is a good time. It's a lot of boom as far as growth. Because when I started on comedy, maybe like 3 years ago, it was only one place where people would actually go and see comedy. Mm-hmm. Now there's maybe you can see comedy show almost the whole week. Like there's a show every week, every weekday here.
So every weekday now in Hawaii, you can find a venue for comedy.
Yeah, well, except for Friday, there's every weekday and Saturday.
But I'm sure there's a lot more than it used to be. You said you started only 3 years ago. How's that? How did that happen?
Well, to be honest, I've always wanted to try it, but just never had the guts because it takes a lot to get up on stage and basically open up yourself, your feelings and ideas to people and hope you get a laugh. So.
Right. How was that for you? How was that process for you? I mean, so you said you've always wanted to do it. You waited a long time to do it. What gave you that extra motivation to finally go ahead and do it?
It was kind of like a bet. I hear it sounds cliche, but a lot of it's like, hey, I bet you can't do it. So I was like, I bet you I can. And then actually went up on stage and it actually turned out pretty good. I had a good time. And it's that adrenaline rush. Like when you first get that reaction from the crowd, so you put that energy out. This is my idea of something funny. Mm-hmm. When you hear the laughter, that's the energy coming back. And, you know, it carried me all the way to today.
Where does that comedy come from? What part of you does it come from?
Oh, man. My parents are like 40 years older than me, so being raised old school style, as they say, but in the modern world and seeing the differences and in my own culture, and actually I'm Samoan, but I grew up in an Asian neighborhood, so it's like I've seen a lot of different.
So the world looked funny to you at an early age.
Yeah. So
and you draw on that for your humor.
I do a lot of family humor, like the difference between my dad and my mom always arguing, and
I've seen some of the stuff you do with your family. And you bring that in a lot to it. And also your daughter. You talk a lot about your daughter.
Yeah, my daughter is 8 years old, and how she wants to be like the princess of the world. But I'm a jock, you know. I mean, I can't raise a princess. I wouldn't know how to. I don't even know how to comb her hair. It's either going to go to school with your hair tangled or put on a hat.
Right, exactly. And you also do a podcast. You do it here in our studio. Oh yeah. And today you were talking about your daughter and how you put her to sleep. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. See, it's weird. I got the game Modern Warfare 3, which is a guy's game.
It's a guy's game.
Yeah, and it's like a military war and all that stuff. And she saw me play it, which, you know, she shouldn't have, but she did. And then for some reason now she can't go to sleep without me playing it. I don't know why. So I had to get all the other Modern Warfare games, and she says, "Daddy, play part 1. Or Daddy, play part 2.
She knows them, right?
Yeah, and then
I wonder how's that corrupting her mind, you know?
I don't know, but it's like basically I'm raising another comedian, so she'll probably be funnier than I am.
There you go. Well, James, I really appreciate you coming aboard and talking a little about, you know, we talk to a lot of people every day about coming to Hawaii. We're always looking for fun, different things for them to do. So we want to talk a little bit. You mentioned that there's venues every night. Obviously, you know, they're all over parts of Oahu. We're talking Oahu right now. If somebody was staying in Waikiki, where would be the first place you'd point them to? Maybe Indigo, or where would they go for comedy, good comedy? Well, in the next couple weeks.
Right. To be honest, I think if you're staying in Waikiki, there's one in Waikiki right now. there's Sharky's Comedy Club.
Right.
It's usually only Wednesdays and Saturday nights, and they have like a comedy Polynesian show, and then they take a break and they do a regular style comedy club comedy. That's in Princess Kailani Hotel. I think
Really? So there's at the Princess Kailani. There's and that's where the Sharkies is.
Yep, every Wednesdays and Saturday nights. So
wow.
I think Bo Irvine is going to host that.
And are you there sometimes?
I will go in and watch. There's a lot of funny comedians. I've never performed there. Yeah, I've never performed there. It's I know a couple people that do perform
now,
there.
if somebody wants to know, can they go to your website? You have all of the different venues there?
I probably will now.
Yeah, that's a good idea, man. That's a good idea. But they can contact you. Anybody can contact you, and you'll definitely give them the scoops. You're on Twitter, you're on Facebook.
They can either go to my Facebook or they can go to jamesmane.com. It's M-A-N-E. My last name is spelled M-A-N-E. It doesn't look Samoan, but it is.
So, what are your influences as far as comedy goes, and how is comedy different here, let's say, in Hawaii than on the mainland?
Some of my influences, Jerry Seinfeld, of course, Chris Rock, but I'm one of those that I'm a student of the game, so I like Rodney Dangerfield.
Wow.
I like the old. And this is a true story. Last week I was showing my daughter Abbott and Costello, Who's on First.
Right.
It took her a while to get, so we watched it like 4 times. But she got it, eventually, and then she was like, "Oh, that is the name? Who?" I was like, "Yes."
Yes. Exactly.
So it's like I go way back. Like even Bob Hope is some of the guys that I like.
So kind of an eclectic mix of people in you there that you draw on.
A lot of sitcoms I grew up watching, like Sanford and Son. Was it Honeymooners?
Oh yeah.
So I go way back.
Yeah, that's my kind of stuff.
Yeah, see, but it's funny.
Yeah,
it's universally funny.
It is.
No matter how old you are.
I Love Lucy, I think, was classic. Some of the stuff. I mean, I was watching an I Love Lucy episode this weekend, really late, and it was about how Ricky was, kind of going to pretend like he was going to cheat on Lucy. I mean, they had those issues back then. And it was a whole story about that. So, and it was just hilarious how they present it. So. Right. Those old influences are, it's interesting to hear that those are the influences, same influences that I guess any comic would have.
Yeah.
So we're not, just because we're in Hawaii, doesn't mean that we have some sort of special influences. And I'm sure you were, though, influenced by some of the early comics here. No?
Andy Bumatai is one of my biggest, actually when I was, the very first stand-up comedy I've ever seen, it was on TV, it was by Andy Bumatai. And I was like, that's weird, he just gets up there and talk. I was really young.
He makes it look easy.
Oh yeah, he's very polished, he's very good. And he's done it for like over 30 years. Then after that it was Benny Hill.
Benny Hill, wow.
A lot of people are like, Benny Hill?
No.
My sister, I got 2 sisters. One was into American pop culture. The other one is into the British pop culture. So
fantastic! Yeah. It's just amazing at the eclectic mix you have. But how does it translate in Hawaii? I mean, is comedy different here than at other places? What can people expect when they go to a comedy club here versus something in the mainland?
Right. Well, there's a different style of comedy here, the local comedy, that they call, which is the way it started was the plantation days, way back where. It's funny because we get their own English, pidgin English. Right. So it's like the Chinese, Portuguese, Hawaiian, and Japanese, and none of them could speak each other's language. So they made up this pidgin English, a broken English version, and a lot of it they make fun of each other.
Yeah.
And that's the local humor here. The reason I like doing comedy in Hawaii is we have different types of audiences. Like say I go to like Indigo or the Dragon upstairs. When I get up on stage, it could be a family from our group from Canada, another group of people from New York City, and then maybe a bunch of local people. So it's like a variety of people at almost every show. So it's not like when you go in, I'm just assuming because I've never done comedy in Texas, but if you get up, you're doing mostly comedy for people who live in Texas. Whereas here, you're doing comedy for all kinds of
everybody. There's all these ethnic mixes, and people really do razz on each other. You know, a lot more, I think, here. And I think, to me, that's the big difference that we see here.
I say we're the melting pot.
And people don't get offended. You know, I mean, you can do a Samoan joke. I can do a Samoan joke about you, and I don't have to be Samoan. going, and you'll get it, you know. But otherwise,
if you cross the line, I'll just look at you and yeah, we do a lot of ethnic jokes.
And there's a lot of self-deprecating humor too, I notice, here as well.
Yeah, I do a lot of jokes about my weight. Hopefully, by the end of this year, I won't be doing any more because hopefully I'll be in shape.
There you go. There you go. In fact, you're losing weight for a special gig that you're involved in. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's why I'm not clean shaven or my hair is messed up. There's this Honolulu magazine. They have this best of Honolulu thing, and
best of list.
Yeah, so they do all these. They want to highlight the 5 of the list, and they're gonna do like a semi-viral video. And I helped them come up with some of the ideas. They actually didn't use any of the ideas, but I think because of me at the meeting, it's like, oh, you're very animated, you're a very colorful person. We want to use you as the star for the video. So I was like,
wow, excellent.
So that's why one of the places I have to go to, they're going to do a clean shave thing. So they wanted me to look scruffy. So that's why. But I was like, I'm going to be on camera. I got to get in shape.
Wow. So when is that going to happen? In the next month or so? Or?
Next Monday is when we shoot. I think they're going to release it a week after. So.
Okay, so that's going to be part of the best of lists in Honolulu Weekly. We'll be following that. Honolulu Magazine, rather. I'm sorry. And that'll be in their best of list. And they'll have the viral video that'll go out as, I guess, as a companion thing on the internet or something. Yeah. Fantastic. So where else can people see you before we get going here? How can people see you and how can they reach you again?
My name is Jame Mane, so you can go to jamesmane.com. You can either check me out on Facebook under Jame Mane or comedian Jame Mane. There's Mars Comedy. There's a lot of stuff. There's our iTunes podcast.
Men with Issues.
Guys with Issues.
Guys with Issues.
So on iTunes you can download it. And also, I do comedy wherever there's a stage, and that's what a comedian does: is get as much stage time as you can. That's what I do, and you can I'll go to Indigo on Wednesdays. There's also the Hawaiian Brian's on Tuesdays. Mondays at the Dragon upstairs. I think Thursdays are going to start a place called Stations.
So you're around a lot. All they need to do is get a hold of you, and you can find out, or just get in touch with me to helping sponsor Guys with Issues, and that's on every week, and you can catch that on your website as well. Yep. So I want to thank you for checking in with our audience, the Hawaii Vacation Connection. Jame Mane, jamesmane.com, and marscomedy.com. Aloha, my name is Bruce Fisher, and I'm the owner of Hawaii Aloha Travel. We know that planning a Hawaii vacation can sometimes get complicated. That's why our Hawaii Aloha staff is available right here to help you every step of the way. I invite you to check out our website, www.hawaii-aloha.com, or give us a call at 1-800-843-8771. Until we see you here in the islands, I'll say aloha and mahalo.